You're now listening to the Stronger Inside podcast, where we break down all things regarding health, fitness, and wellness to help you improve your mind, body, and environment. And now, your host, Wayne, a.k.a. Workout with Wayne, and Ernest, a.k.a. Mr. 100 Pounds Down.
All right. Welcome back to Stronger Inside podcast, episode 18. What's up, Ernest?
18, man. I'm doing well, man. We legal out here. We podcast can vote. You did?
Yeah. Got to register for that. Not Secret Service. What's it called when you got to register?
Selective service?
Yeah, you got to register for that selective service.
Oh, man. Don't draft the podcast.
We're going number one.
Listen, that's not the type of draft you want to go number one in. I don't believe.
Numero uno. Put them on the front line.
Oh, man, I got flat feet, you know.
Oh, man. All right. This is episode 18, so go ahead and throw us into the topic.
All right, man. So today we're going to talk about the dangers of a sedentary lifestyle.
Ooh.
Big words out here, sedentary.
Nah, depends who you are, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, true. I mean, a lot of letters in the word.
A lot of letters. If we playing Scrabble.
Yeah, triple word score, sedentary.
No, all right. Yeah. This is a very good topic, something that a lot of people can relate to. If we really look at things right now, modern society is just basically designed for sitting. As a result of our jobs, as a result of just the lifestyle in general, people spend more time in the seated position than they ever have. So really just it's excessive sitting. And this really has a lot of negative impacts on the body. So and also on the mind. It just has negative impacts overall. So we'll take a look at that today. I know this is something you can actually relate to a little bit more than me, just because of the nature of our jobs. I don't really sit for work. I guess if we call this work, I guess I'd be sitting for it. You being in an office space previously, and then also working from home, being a little bit more in front of screens and things of that nature, you probably can chime in on this. But we really want to touch on, and I don't want to say warn people, but really just shed a light on the effects of the massive amounts of sitting. And a lot of it is just subconscious. Like, you're not even really thinking about it anymore because it's just so common. Everything comes with it, and we just don't chase down our food anymore. So it's a whole different world.
We chase it down a different way. We hurry to get through traffic to make sure we can get to the drive-through fast enough. Chase it down now.
Yeah, sweet green.
Yeah.
All that different stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's funny. We talk about sitting, right? If you look at fast food right now, we were actually we were in a car together, and I think it was a couple weekends ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I pointed out that there was a fast food restaurant, and it had a line of cars around the building.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Is that really fast food at this point? It's convenient food, but it's not actually fast, because the last person in that line had to get all the way around the building and finally get their food to leave. It would have been at least 15, 20 minutes. Maybe not 20 minutes, depending who's, 15 minutes at max, maybe 11 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't really think about it because you're on your phone, or you got your radio or something playing. But 15 minutes is not fast food. Fast food is supposed to be like 5 minutes, 2 minutes, right?
Right.
You pay, you get it, you go.
Right.
And so we really just sit, even if we're waiting for quote unquote fast food.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's do this. In terms of sitting. So you are a former pushing 400, former 400-pound person
Mm-hmm.
who has worked in a office environment. Tell me what your typical day was like when you were uh, waking up, going to work, coming home, commuting, and all those things, and how much movement were you actually getting?
So the most movement I got was from the car in the morning to my office, and then from my office maybe to grab something for lunch, go to the restroom, and then back to the car in the evening or in the afternoon, and then back to the house. That was the extent of my up walking around movement. And then, you get home. Before my child, it was you get home, you plop on the couch, you kind of watch the afternoon sports talk shows. You watch the game. Next thing you stand up, you maybe cook dinner for a couple minutes, or you just get up and throw something in the oven, and you come back and get it out the oven in 30 minutes once the timer goes off. Consume that, and then you walk upstairs and you go to bed. So it was a lot of sitting. The commute was probably about 45 minutes to an hour in the car, depending on traffic. So that's going and coming home. Sometimes coming home is a lot worse. So maybe 45 going up and an hour and a half to get back home.
Yeah, which is common in this area. Probably a lot of
Right.
other places in the country as well. But yeah, DC, Maryland, Virginia area where people really commute. That's normal sitting in that traffic.
Absolutely. So it was for an 8-hour workday. If you add 2 hours for commuting, I probably was sitting, I would say about 6.5, 7 of those hours was me sitting down. The occasionally I would have to walk, go to different offices in the building to check different things for my job. But for the most part, I was at my desk on my computer, answering emails, answering the phone, taking care of my work.
Yeah, there's studies that show that the average office worker spends up to 15 hours a day seated. I mean, that's pretty much how long you're awake.
Essentially.
I mean, and that's what you just described.
Mm-hmm.
So where you're
if
really
you're not, it's good. Sorry, but if you're not seated, like when you're home, if you're not sitting down, you're laying down, right?
Yeah.
You got your feet up on the couch. You got your feet up on the ottoman. It's
you fancy. You got an ottoman.
Boy, but ask somebody.
Was that Pier 1?
Before they went out of business.
Oh, man. Oh, that's when you got it. Yeah.
But yeah. So 15 hours sounds very realistic.
That's scary. You got to ask yourself, is your body designed for that? Is your body really designed to sit and not move that long? Is your mind even built for that? And the answer is no. We all know the answer is no, but for some reason we have slowly kind of evolved into this, and then we see the effects on society. We see the numbers. We've talked about the obesity statistics numerous times on this podcast, but even in terms of just low back pain, I mean, how many people have you that to just casually talk about low back pain? Yeah, this is just a common thing. It's almost like and really it's from the sitting. It's really from the sitting. You're driving, you're eating, you're working, the computers. We are just heavily reliant on technology, which is something that's not going to change. And technology is moving faster than ever. And really, that's what's kept a lot of people employed, especially through this pandemic. So, technology is not going anywhere. Technology, there's good and bad to it, but we really got to take a look and say, how can I live a healthy life? How can I sustain healthy habits and still have a modern job? There's a new phrase, modern problems require modern solutions. And that's what we got to do. We got to come up with some modern solutions, and that's some things we'll talk about today, because these are modern problems. Until probably the last 20 years, maybe 30 years, no human beings did not have this problem. Human beings did not have this many dysfunctions. Human beings were not this obese. and you got to say, hey, what can I do to prevent myself from going down this slippery slope? What are some things that you have changed? Because you touched on what your former life was, and prior to the pandemic you were still working, and you were making some changes in terms of your health, big changes in your nutrition and diet, of course. But did you find yourself making some changes in your just day-to-day movement?
Yeah. So at work, with the amount of sitting that just comes with the job, it's a little more difficult. But when I did get up and move, I made sure I moved with a purpose, right? And so no more elevators. I would take the stairs, instead of I wouldn't necessarily go the shortcut. Sometimes I would go the long way around, just to maybe walk another 5, 10 minutes or so to get to a place. Walk outside, uh, when there's an opportunity to walk outside, to walk through. There's a courtyard that we have, so walk through the courtyard to get to the place instead of staying in the air conditioned building and kind of walking that pathway. So it was those types of things. And then when I got home, I made sure that I was active in the afternoons. So when I couldn't work out in the mornings, I work out in the evenings, or just going for a walk with my family, getting out of the house, doing those types of things, definitely helped. Realizing that taking that 30 minutes to do something else wasn't taking away from the other things, right? So I used to come home and I used to have a lineup of shows I had to watch, right? I had to watch TMZ. I had to watch, the Around the Horn, PTI. I had to watch all those shows. If I missed those shows, something was missing, right? But then realizing that I can take 30 minutes for myself and for my health and for my family, just to spend that time with them, spend that time doing something other than just kind of sitting there mindlessly absorbing all this information that I've been told probably 4 or 5 times already that day in a
Yeah.
different way. Because that's pretty much all sports talk is, right? It's just different people spewing out the
Yeah, same
same
thing
kind
with
of
the
information to
news.
you.
They
Right.
got
Same
they
thing
got
with
a
the
whole
news.
lineup of shows, same topics, different
Right.
personality gives their own spin.
Right.
Yep.
So I can, cut one of those things out to take that 30 minutes to go do something else. And so that's kind of what I incorporated then. Now with the pandemic, we're home more. And so there's an opportunity to kind of move a little bit at your own pace, right? And so I think it's important that I I felt that it was important for me to look at the work from home aspect of my job now as a benefit more than a negative thing. So the pandemic for me has been beneficial in a lot of ways, because I spend more time with my son. So now I'm a primary educator for him for a majority of his day, whereas before it was after work. So it was literally like 4 or 5 hours. I kind of was with him before it was bedtime, right? And so now it's with 24/7. We're with him, right? And so now there's an opportunity to get up and move with him. So we do these morning education things in the morning where we do our alphabets and stretch and do our numbers and sign language and all these different types of things where exercise is involved, and we're getting up, we're moving, we're dancing, we're just having fun. And so those types of things that I wasn't doing before. And then also we have a fitness tracker that tells you when you've been sitting for a long time, and then prompts you to get up and move. And so you get up and move, walk around. And then cooking, I make breakfast, I make lunch, cook dinner. So I'm up doing those things where it's not popping things into the microwave or in the oven and
Or you're
just letting
not
those
buying
things.
things because you're at work. That
Right,
was a big change that you made, in terms of just
right,
preparing your own meals.
right. But just getting up and doing it yourself, right? So actually
Yeah, you're moving.
standing in the
Yep.
kitchen, flipping the eggs over, scrambling the eggs, moving from here to there, doing those types of things
You don't have
instead
a
of
kitchen chair?
I don't. Do they have those?
I've seen that on a couple of reality shows. I'm being funny, but I've seen that a couple times. I've seen people in big office chairs, and they're flipping stuff in the kitchen because they don't want to flipping stuff in the kitchen because they don't want to stand up.
Right. And then and here's the thing. So so let's say I wanted to get something healthy, right? I wanted to go to the food court at my job to get a healthy meal. If the line is long, you put your order in, they give you a number, and you wait. If there's a chair, I'm probably going to sit down in the chair and wait. That was the old me, right? So there I am again, sitting down, waiting, even for something like that. And so now it's just different. I was always of the mindset when if there was a chair there, the chair was there for a reason, right? And that reason was for me to sit down, right? And then I would always be around people when there'd be a chair and people would stand up and I'd be like, "Hey, you can have a seat right here," and they'd be like, "Oh, I've been sitting all day," and that never made sense to me. I was like, "Sit some more."
It didn't make sense to you back then.
Sit some more then. So they were just like, "No, I want to stand," and I was like, "Huh." I never had that thought before. I never that thought of I want to stand just to take these notes or throughout this, 30-minute meeting. It never really made sense to me. But then we incorporated some stand-up desk in our office. So here's the thing: we have 5 stand-up desks in the office. I don't know how many times people actually stand up with those desks.
Yeah.
The desk are in the flat position, and people sit in their chairs with that desk.
There's a lot of different things and different tools that people have tried to incorporate into the office life, so that they can try to combat some of this lifestyle. Let's take a look at some of the things that come with the sitting in the office life, or even if you're not in the office life and you're just sitting on your butt all day, sit on the couch like I'm doing right now, then these are things that come with it. Neck and shoulder pain. It's really hard to keep good posture while you're sitting all day, and you really see that start to change. Of course, obesity, just because of the lack of movement. We'll get into that a little bit later. Stress, lower back pain, and even with the office life, with the typing, all those different things, carpal tunnel, all those different things. So just taking a look and saying, how can I really, really, really prevent myself from doing that? Let's take a look at the obesity. Of course, nutrition is number one. We've touched on that. But what you said, moving and you having a fitness tracker or something, or app or something that reminds you to get up and move. I train so many people who are in the same lifestyle, or even worse off than you, people who are just really have to be locked into a screen, right? And I asked them, a lot of them are working from home. There's nobody looking over their shoulder, even when they're in their office, nobody's looking over their shoulder, right? But for some reason, we have people that will sit for 90 minutes, 2 hours, and they go from this to this to this to this to this to the shoulders, and they're squinting and they're doing all that. And it's like, if you got up every 30 minutes, which would just be, it wouldn't be excessive. It wouldn't take away from your work performance. It would actually probably improve your work performance. If you got up every 30 minutes, and we can go through some different stretches that are really good for that, then that's something you should do. And just always have that reminder. And if you use the app, you use the phone, you use the tracker, whatever, because you're just not supposed to sit that long, especially in the position that we sit. We sit in what you would call a 90-90-90 position, which would be 90 degrees at the hips, 90 degrees at the knees, and 90 degrees at the ankles, right? And you really start to see the tightness of the hip flexors, the weakening and shortening of the hamstrings, the glutes get weak, and then that leads to the lower back pain. So the massive amount of sitting really goes into that. So if you can combat that and get up, move, go walk, go to the water fountain, just do something. Even if I'm not in the office life. Do they still do cubicles? Is that a thing?
They do cubicles. Man,
They're still doing cubicles.
They
So you got your own little gym. Nobody's even looking at you.
Listen, they have the things called cube. They called cube farms.
Cube farms. Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I guess now they want to move into this pods environment. But it's
me too. Thing. That's what we did,
right? Yeah. Gotcha.
But yeah, just get up, because when you're standing, the hip flexors are not shortened. You're walking, you're using your glutes, your hamstrings are stretched, and then your body is able to kind of be in more of a natural state. So really do that. And then, we've seen different things where you call it a desk exercise, and people try to do some different movements, and they get trying to limber up per se during the work day. Hey, if that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. But definitely just understand that every 30 to 45 minutes, you should be getting up. You should be moving. You should find some way to do something so that you're not sitting and all those in that 90 position, which again would be 90 degrees at the hips, knees, and ankles. We've seen, I know you mentioned the standing desk, and then there's also, have you personally seen a treadmill desk?
Yes. Not in person, but I've personally seen one. Does that make sense?
No.
I've seen it in a magazine. I've seen
No, that's what I meant.
But I haven't seen one in person. No, but I've personally seen one, but not in person.
Well, I've personally seen a dragon. Doesn't mean I've seen one in person.
You didn't ask me if I saw one in person. You said, have I personally seen one?
No, I said, have you seen one in person?
Rewind the tape.
Nah, yeah, you listen to it when it comes out on Wednesday at noon.
Yeah, no, I have not seen a treadmill desk in person.
Okay, I have not either, and it sounds
ridiculous.
Ambitious. And ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, I am a trainer, and I would not want to train all day on a treadmill. So, yeah, but hey, it sure beats sitting. Chair. So what happens is your hips are here, and your knees go down. So imagine if you were kneeling on the floor, kinda, but this chair has you in that position, so you are supported upright, and then your legs come back behind you. So you're kind of like in that position. Yeah, and it opens up the hips, and you're not in that hard seated position. So something different. If that's something that anybody's looking at, what did you just look it up?
Yeah, this looks super uncomfortable.
Well,
but I don't know. It was just saying, it just looks that way.
Give it a try, because you know what's uncomfortable? Lower back pain.
Very much so. I know about that lower back pain.
Exactly. So just taking a look at those things.
It's ergonomic. Yeah. Everything's ergonomic. That's a Halo word, right?
You gonna say that again?
Ergonomic.
Oh, there we go. I thought my headphones were messing up.
Egonistic.
What? Oh man.
Ergonomic.
Yeah, and it's all about respecting your anatomy. I mean, really, what it comes down to: respect your anatomy. Respect that you are an animal. You're a mammal. You're not meant to do what you're doing, and you need. Just think about it. We compare us to all other mammals, and we are so we have the most we have the most cognitive function, right? We are the smartest ones, right? But we still have the body hair. we still do all the things that these other mammals do, right? But we think that we can sit for 15 hours and our bodies won't be affected. It's a little arrogant. It's a little arrogant. I mean, I would really like to see the effects of zoo animals and wild animals.
Oh man! Don't pet the animals.
Oh man!
Yeah,
don't pet Jim.
Don't pet Jim. Yeah, don't pet Jim. Not at all. Because Jim's going to think that he did a good job bringing them donuts in.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, that's I never thought of it that way. About we're animals, we're mammals, but we're the only ones that do this. But
Look at the people who move the most.
Right.
What do they look like? And the people who don't move. Look at somebody who works construction, works on a farm, does something where they really use their body, and look at the people who don't. I mean, it's right there, writings on the wall. So we have to move. We're supposed to move. We're not supposed to be, our bodies are not supposed to be 40% body fat. Just not. And we have gone that way. And the crazy thing is, it seems like it's only getting worse.
Yeah. But I think you hit it on the head when you said technology, the technological advances in our society has dumbed us down in a lot of ways, and also has put us in positions where we're comfortable. Maybe we're too comfortable in our lives and in our our current state.
Yeah. I mean, it's a gift. It's a gift and a curse.
Right.
And you have to use technology. You cannot let it use you. And the same thing. Yeah. Same thing for your job. Same thing for anything. You have to use it as a tool. You cannot let it use you. And it's sad. I've come across a lot of people, and they feel like they are not capable of escaping the lifestyle their job puts them in. And we all have choices. We all have choices. We can do different things to combat that. But what happens is we end up taking the easy road. And you know my statement, they're trying to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And do your coworkers like you and love you? Yeah, maybe even your boss. But really take a look and say, does your job like you and love you? And a lot of times the answer is no. Your job actually doesn't love you. The people at your job may say they do or may act like they do, but the nature of the job that requires you to sit or work in front of a screen for that amount of time, that's not showing that it loves you. And sadly, a lot of times we're harder on ourselves than the job is on us. So meaning that, and maybe you can chime in on this, some people are actually working longer hours from home than they were previously, because now there's no cutoff point. There's no I go home. You can't leave it in the office. Mm-hmm. The office is home.
Right.
So if you're gonna work an extra 30 minutes or answer one more email, it all blends together because you're in your living room. You're in your home office, which is your home. So now you're just working all day, and then you wake up, you pick up your phone or you hop on your emails, and basically you're just working all day now.
Mm-hmm.
So really just understanding that that's not healthy. That's not what your body was built to do. That's not what your mind was built to do. And the boundaries have to be there so that you can have just a normalcy of health.
Yeah, absolutely. Nope. I know there's probably millions of people that fall under that category of working extra hours because they are at home, right? And so the time, because I think that their mentality is, well, I don't have to commute anymore. I don't have to do these other types of things where I would be away from my family for this length of time anyway. So why not just go ahead and kind of get caught up on, tomorrow's day, or get a head start on tomorrow. That stuff is going to be there. It's never going to stop being there.
Yeah.
And if something happens to you because you're not taking care of yourself, you know what? Someone else is going to come do it, and they're not going to miss a beat anyway. So I always feel like, take care of home first, take care of self, and then, make sure your work is getting done, of course. But I mean,
well, if you don't have your health, you don't have your job.
You can't.
So why kill yourself for a job? Because and like you just said, if you are not able to do the job, they will find somebody else to do the job. So you will have impacted your health, went in a negative direction, harmed yourself, your family, all to serve this bigger purpose that will, in fact, just replace you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get hazard pay or something like that. Like, oh man, you've worked really hard. You know, some people do get overtime in those things, but and I am a huge advocate of hard work, meaning after hours, right? I am, because if you do it the right way, you will be rewarded later on, right? And if you're in the right atmosphere, in the right environment, and you work harder than the next person, then you will put yourself in position to be rewarded. But that's not always the case, and you have to, only you can be the judge if it's worth it. And that's a case-by-case thing. But really understand that if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. And yeah, even if it's something as small as lower back pain or additional stress, you know, but then when we talk about the next thing, the next level of hypertension, type 2 diabetes, and those things that come with sitting, those things that come with eating in your car, those things that come with work dinners, work lunches, all those different office life things. And now your health is deteriorated because of your job. Yes and no. It's kind of a cop-out because really it's just due to your own choices. And you have to be aware of that. So I really hope anybody listening to this, if they take a look at it and say, man, I feel like I'm kind of on a assembly line to bad health. I need to make some changes. And Ernest, you've done it. You've brought up some really excellent points tonight in terms of the changes you've made and the changes in perspective that you've made. And hopefully people can really capitalize on being home more than they did previously. Because like you said, for myself, you know, I'm able to really be more hands-on in terms of teaching with my son, and a lot of things that you've talked about that I do with him, you know, our morning workout, our breakfast, workbooks and additional schooling and different things like that, to where, you know, we're playing chess, we're doing these different things that where we have time, and it's not spent sitting. And it's movement involved, it's learning involved, it's positivity involved, and we do have more time. And have you felt any pressure from your job to do more work than you were previously because you're home?
No, not because I'm home. I think my job is it's kind of busy and high pace as it is already. I think the workload has increased slightly, not because we're at home, but I think there's just a lot of turnover and stuff going on right now. So different things are being shuffled around, and so you got to pick up the slack for a couple different reasons. But you know, I think my job is they are comfortable with the amount of hours that we put in and the amount of work we're able to produce in our set time periods. And so I think that's one of the beauties and the benefits of my employers at this point.
Cool.
Yeah. But I definitely know there are some workaholics in and around. I think I took a day off a couple weeks ago, and someone called me on my day off, and they said, "Hey, are you off today?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm off today. I gotta go handle some stuff. I think it was about the move and things like that." And I said, "Oh, okay. I know some people take the day off and they still check their email, so I didn't know if you were one of those people." And I was like,
"Day off."
I'm not one of those people. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get that straight right now. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna. If I'm off, I'm not gonna check my email. If there's an emergency and you need me, because if there's something that only I'm able to do, fine, I can jump in and help you for this 10, 15 minutes. But just to be like, well, let me go see if someone needs me.
Then you're not off.
I'm not off. I'm not off, I don't work on call. I'm not an on call guy. So you don't have access to me 24/7. But
You're not
for whatever reason, my
Dr.
phone,
Huxtable?
yeah, my office phone is forwarded to my cell phone at this point.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm the only one in the office whose phone is set up that way.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know why. We're gonna have to fix that. We're gonna have to work that out. But that's just a little sidebar. But other than that,
Okay.
But other than that, yeah, we're good. We're good with that.
Good.
Yeah, man.
I guess the next place to take the conversation is there's a lot of people who are very active, meaning they put in that hour a day or hour 4 times a week, right, of activity, but they still are sitting all day. They still aren't moving. And to them, they are combating that. To them, they're saying, hey, I still work out, I still move, I still get these things done. And there's a lot of studies that show that there's just not enough. Because again, if you're sitting for that amount of time and the tightening of the hip flexors, the shortening of the hamstrings, even if you go move or you go do CrossFit, you do whatever it is that you want to do for that extended amount of time, that if it adds up to that 150 minutes per week, it's not going to be as beneficial as moving throughout your day. Right. So just really understand that yes, you're a gym person, you're a gym rat, you work out, you're active for that very intense time, maybe for that 45 hour, even 90 minutes per day, weight training, whatever cardio stuff you like to do. Even if you participate in some type of athletic, but you still can't sit for 7, 6, 8 hours and then go do that. And that doesn't even work when you get on the field, because now you're trying to almost stretch yourself out of that position because you feel so tight. So just really, really, really moving throughout your day and preventing that is going to be the best thing for you. So even if you are somebody who has dedicated time to working out, fitness, you still have to move. You still have to move during the day. With my job, I'm just pretty lucky to where I am able to just move. I demonstrate exercises. I'm standing, I'm moving things, I'm picking up things, I'm going up and down stairs. My gym has 2 floors. I'm commuting. Sometimes I got to go back and forth from the gym 2 or 3 times in a day. And while I am driving, it's a very short drive. It's probably 7 minutes at the most. So for me, that's not the case. I was actually working on some stuff, some administrative stuff and doing some things for the podcast. And I had spent a long day of sitting, and I felt it, and I was like, man, this is not good. But that was something very rare to me, because that's not what I do. So right. Even in that aspect, I did feel it. Yeah. So pretty much move. Yeah. It sounds simple, but move, because there's something called NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which really just means what it says, non-exercise activity. So you think about, I worked out, I ran for 30 minutes, blah, blah, blah. But how much exercise or how much movement are you getting that's not exercise? Right. And that's how a lot of elderly people stay in shape, or stay at a healthy body weight, I should say. They get a lot of NEAT. They garden, they walk a dog, they move, they go see friends, like whatever they're doing, they move, right? Because you don't see 60 plus, 70 plus people typically weight training and doing a lot of different things. They can and they should, and that means that they probably did it earlier in their life. But just moving is going to help you maintain that healthy body, that body weight. So understanding that when you got everything shut down and we had to come home and we had to sit, we lost out on meat.
Yeah.
Because I'm only going to go to the grocery store once every 3 weeks, right? Right there. You've cut out that movement. I'm not going to the barbershop. Cut out that movement. I'm not going to I'm not going to work. I'm not commuting. I'm not walking in line to go get my food. I'm not doing anything. So it's really just about you finding a way. And it's funny, back in March, April,
mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, but where I live, I've seen so many people walking. So many people walking. It was never like that. And this was even in the spring, even going into the summer, even going into May, June. I'm like, I've never seen you out here because I'm always outside, right? So I'm outside, I'm moving, I see what's going on. And I'm like, wow, there is a lot of people out here just walking, movement, because they know that they're not getting it elsewhere and they can't really go anywhere else. The gyms were closed and it was like, it's nice weather, we just got to move. And really what they were trying to do was make up for the lack of need. And a lot of people are possibly going through that right now.
Yeah, gotta find a way to create that need.
Yep. And that pretty much just means not being lazy. I mean, you thought about it. I mean, you said cooking, just being up in your kitchen, moving and cooking, versus sitting down and waiting for DoorDash to come.
Right.
I mean, that's movement right there in itself.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I know when we first started talking about doing this one, you compared sitting to be the new smoking. How do you?
Well, there's some. I actually kind of looked into that a little bit, and it's still not as dangerous as smoking. As much as it, I guess it depends on what you look at. It's just not as dangerous. But I mean, I would have to really go. I mean, there's different studies. So.
But just imagine if you sit all day and the only reason you get up is to go out for a smoke break. You know, your NEAT is leading you to a nicotine stick.
Well, yeah. When I was talking about the different movement that you could get at work, and I thought about that. Like, well, some people, they get up and they don't go to the water fountain or whatever. They go and they take a smoke break. And it's like, you're kind of moving, but that's probably not the best thing. Like you just said, you're moving to your own detriment.
Right.
Yeah. But no, it smoking, sitting, these are things that we know we shouldn't do them. I mean, same thing like drinking a soda. Think about when you drink a soda fast.
Oh, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, reminiscing, flashback.
No, sorry. Yeah, what were we talking about again?
That's your body telling you, this ain't supposed to go in me.
Right.
If you gotta do that after you drink a soda, that's your body telling you, this ain't it. Don't do this. Because guess what? If you drink some water, that's never happened.
No.
This is nature. This is simple stuff, but we want to fight it. You know, we want to sit, we want to smoke, we want to drink soda, we want to do all these different things, and then when there's consequences to these actions, we act shocked. So that's why we're here. We're here to right the ship, prevent you from being shocked. If those are the choices you choose to make, then just be prepared to live with those consequences, because it's not just going to magically work in your favor for no reason. So yeah, man, I think this was one that pretty much everybody can relate to.
Absolutely.
This is a modern problem, whether it be children, teens, adults, and just really understanding that you got to do something. You got to move. If you're an Uber driver, if you work in an office, if you're working from home, if you're a teacher, if you're a student, all of this applies to you. And you need to understand that your body was not meant to be in this position. So get up, get out, get moving. Anything else you want to add to this, Ernest?
I think that it is when we talk about, our kids and stuff and spending that time with our kids, I sit back and I think my son moves all day long. All day long. Like he might sit still for 5 minutes and then he's up walking around doing something, jumping on something, flipping around, climbing on me, doing something, because it's natural, right? It's natural for him to want to move and not be stuck in the house all day.
He hasn't been socialized to sit.
Right. But it's just as we get older and we, from the classroom, from the school, from the way schools are set up, from the way, jobs are set up, it's sitting. It's get your books, sit right here. I'm going to talk to you while you sit down. And then now you're going to get up and move to another room where you're going to sit down and I'm going to talk to you some more. And then you get a job and it's like, all right, sit in front of this box and type in all the information I need. And then sit in your car and drive home. So we really need to find a way to create that need. And again, you talked about consequences. There's consequences for everything, but not all consequences are negative, right? So we want to have those positive consequences. We want to put the effort and energy in so that we can produce that fruit on the other end of it, right? We want to have that. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Don't do it.
We want to have those positive consequences from our actions, right? So we want to put in the effort, put in the energy, and then reap the benefits on the back end. So make sure you're creating that need. You're getting up, you're moving as much as you can, especially now that we're home. Take advantage of the opportunities that you have now, not having, that boxed in structure of a office environment. Take advantage of those things. The consequences of taking advantage of it is a more positive, healthier lifestyle. The consequences for not is to continue to potentially deteriorate, a lot of those things that we talked about earlier, So get to it. Get neat.
I like it. I like it. Yeah.
Put it on a t-shirt, Wayne.
Oh man. Get that t-shirt store up and running soon. Yep. Good stuff, man. I'm glad that you're always able to be pretty much a living, breathing example of what to do. And it sounds all great and nice coming from me. But when we have both perspectives and you're able to really add in, it allows for the words that I say to really ring true, and somebody that really can put a face to the concept or to the methodology that we're speaking on. So for you to really let people know that, hey, this is what you should be doing, it allows me not to feel like the bad guy, not the bully, speaking on my soapbox, because it works and it works. And the more listeners that we do get with this podcast, they know it works. So,
and here's the thing, guys. It's not me being a mouthpiece for Wayne. It's not me just kind of reciting the things that he's saying and just agreeing blindly. Like this is literally what I've been doing for like the last 2 years. And do I get it right every time? Absolutely not. Wayne will tell you that based off of how I log, and I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that too. I don't get it right all the time. There's times where you get into these grooves and these modes, and you kind of get lax on some things, but then you got to turn it back on. And it's about building habits and being as consistent as possible, right? And so as long as you build those habits, if you fall off, it's easy to get back on, right? But if you don't have that foundation and you start building and building and building, once you fall off, everything's going to tumble down. But if you have that, see people that, if the rest of your life. And so don't think I have to, lose this by a certain amount of time or have to, stop being sedentary tomorrow in order to be successful. No, it's going to take time for you to incorporate all these different things. You need to set a time frame on yourself because you see other people doing certain things and getting faster results. Stick to your program, stick to your goals, build those habits, build that foundation. Sky's the limit.
Yeah. Great words from a wise man.
Hey, we out here.
That's all I got on the topic. I think we kind of covered this one. And if there's anything else anybody needs, of course, I'm always here. Work out with Wayne. You need some training, personalized programs, or mobility, flexibility to help you combat some of those issues that may arise with your office life, always reach out. Until next time.
We out.
Thank you for listening to the Stronger Inside podcast. If you're listening on Spotify, follow us. If you're listening on Apple Podcast, then subscribe. Make sure you stay connected with us via social media on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Stronger Inside Podcast. Remember, every like, comment, and share spreads the message of health, fitness, and wellness.